I've been promising this exact video for a while now. What I'm going to do is give you an exact breakdown of how my agency, how we fulfill the top 7 AI SEO offerings we have. The last video I just published, I broke down those top 7 offerings, exactly what we pay for them, exactly what we charge for them, my profit margins, all of that information. In this video, I'm going to show you how we do fulfillment. So my name is Caleb Alku. I built a 7-figure SEO agency in 3 years. And recently, we've transitioned to an AI SEO agency, of course, with the help of ChatGPT. I've also helped hundreds of hopeful entrepreneurs build their own SEO agency from scratch, using training just like this one. Now, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous in recording and putting this video out on YouTube because of how powerful this is going to be for client fulfillment. If you have an SEO agency, what I'm going to show you is likely going to speed things up quite a bit on your end. If you don't, hopefully this is the inspiration you need to go ahead and start one and start landing clients. I want you to be successful in growing your own agency and landing clients. SEO agencies is definitely a mindset of abundance. There's so many clients out there and the industry is growing so fast. Land as many clients as you want. You won't affect my agency at all. And in fact, I'll even give you a Word document that has all of these prompts in it, so you don't necessarily need to take notes and write everything down. I'll have a link to where you can go to grab that in the comments. Okay. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Our number 1 product is going to be keyword research. As I already mentioned in another video, I told you how we price it and how much it costs me to fulfill. So here, I'm just going to focus on fulfillment. So let me dive on over to the computer and show you. So I'm going to start by giving you an example for a local business, and you can use any local business you want. Of course, just update it. I've chosen a plumber in Houston. So this is the prompt. You're a local search engine optimization expert. Give me some keyword ideas for a local plumber in Houston, Texas. And this is key. Include keywords that target specific neighborhoods and the city, and keywords for a variety of services a local plumber would want customers for. Keep in mind seasonal trends and local language nuances. Mention local events or landmarks. The reason for all of this, rather than just, hey, give me some keywords for plumber Houston, the reason we talk about all the rest of this is when we produce content on our website. If we talk about specific seasonal trends or neighborhoods, right? The Heights in Houston, Rice Village, Montrose, Clear Lake. If we talk about these specific neighborhoods and these seasonal trends, hurricane season, we talk about these local events, the Houston Rodeo. It's one of the biggest rodeos in the country. I used to live in Houston, so I know a little bit about these different seasonal trends and neighborhoods and events. Of course, we have the Bayou flooding, very common, the Energy Corridor, Houston Ship Channel, and then, of course, some more event-related keywords. So the reason for this is when we talk about all of these hyperlocal keywords, it's going to do a lot to convince Google that we actually are a plumber based in Houston, Texas. And maybe you are and maybe you're not. Maybe you have a client, maybe you have something else, doesn't matter. The point is, with ChatGPT, we can get very hyperlocal keywords exceptionally quickly by leveraging this AI tool. Normally, before ChatGPT, to do hyperlocal keyword research like this, we used to spend hours and hours. Now it's just one quick prompt, and we have a huge list of articles and services that we want to write about focusing on hyperlocal. Now, you might be thinking, what if you're not hyperlocal? What if you're looking for national keyword research? So here we're going to go in a slightly different direction, and we're going to ask for keyword research for the HVAC industry. Not a local HVAC technician or local services company, more like a national brand that sells HVAC equipment online. So here's the prompt. I'm not going to read it. You can read it for yourself, or like I said, in the comments, you can grab that link and download all of these prompts for yourself. But here's the prompt, and we're basically asking ChatGPT, hey, give me some keywords for an HVAC supplier, sells HVAC equipment online, and consider, make sure you include popular design software, emerging trends, techniques for beginners and professionals. So we're just giving ChatGPT a lot of information. The more we can give ChatGPT in the prompt, the better the results. And what we get, I'll scroll down and show you. I ran these earlier. I didn't think you wanted to sit and watch ChatGPT generate output. But it breaks it down into service-based, software and design tools, emerging trends and techniques, eco-friendly, DIY tutorials, professional business-oriented terms. So this is absolutely excellent. So what we can do for the next step in keyword research is what we want to do is check how competitive these keywords are. So I'll just ask ChatGPT, please give me a CSV file with the HVAC national keyword research in it. And now ChatGPT is going to go ahead and generate that CSV file so I can download it. And then I can take that CSV file and give it to any number of third-party SEO keyword analysis tools. The one we use a lot is Ahrefs. If you have a different one you like to use, SEMrush or Moz, then that's fine. Use that. All of these tools accept CSV file uploads. So you can upload it and go ahead and add the volume data and the keyword difficulty data that you're going to want to be able to choose a prioritization list. Now, it's important to note that with ChatGPT producing content for us, we're not going to prioritize like we used to. We're basically going to produce all the content because we can do it relatively inexpensively. But the prioritization is just going to give us what order that we want to produce all that content in. So there's the CSV file. Now I could grab that and give it to any number of third-party tools and fill in the necessary difficulty and volume data like I talked about. And I have another video that I'll mention here where I talk about topical relevance, which is hugely important. So check that video out if you're interested in this. And it's going to give a couple more prompts to take this keyword research to really the next level for topical relevance. Okay, so that's the key that I wanted to cover for keyword research. Funny, that's the key. Yes, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab in the Google Search Console. So here's the Google Search Console. This is a client of ours, hvacdirect.com. Let it load here. And what I want to do is for this next part, I'm going to show you guys content creation. That's number 2. That's the second key product, is using AI for content creation. So I'm going to come down here to search results, and I want to choose a keyword that I would like more traffic for. And I'm going to go with this one, mini split heat pump. That's the one I want. You can see I've already looked at this a little bit and I've already chosen one, but this is the keyword I want. I know that they're ranked on the second page, but ranked very highly on the second page for this keyword. I want to push them to the first page. That's low-hanging fruit, massively valuable to take a keyword that's on the second page and push to the first page. 10x the traffic. And mini split heat pump, a lot of people searching that are going to have buyer intent, which means that's a very valuable keyword for an e-commerce store to rank for. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy that, and I'm literally just going to search for it in Google. Mini split heat pump. Okay, so all of these products up top tell us that Google thinks this is an e-commerce buying type keyword. That's very good for us if we can actually rank for it. And I'm going to just grab some of my competitor headlines, right? And that's, when I say competitor headlines, I just mean this, the title tag. So I'm not going to grab the one from the Department of Energy because the Department of Energy is not a competitor for me, but I will grab this one. Home Depot, that's a stretch. Is the Home Depot a competitor of mine? No, it probably isn't. But I want to sell heat pumps. Home Depot sells heat pumps. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to grab this one from Senville. I'll grab this one from Reddit. I mean, it's ranked really highly and it's not econ, but I'll grab it. I won't grab the second one from Reddit though. Then I'll grab this Mitsubishi one and this mini split ductless. So that's 5 in total. And I'll show you again this prompt. The next thing we need for this prompt are these people also ask questions. So here I want more than 4. So I'm just going to click. And when I do this enough and I click to open, I click to close, more and more and more questions pop up. So I'm just going to do that, get more and more questions. And then I'm just going to copy the whole people also ask section and put it over in my prompt. Okay, perfect. And now I have my prompt. So here's the prompt. I'm going to copy it. And this one I'll do live for you guys. Here we go. All right, copy the prompt, and I'll come back to ChatGPT and I'll paste the prompt in. Okay, boom. So again, this is a long prompt, but in our experience, the more information, the more direction we give ChatGPT, the better the results are. So here I'm telling it, I have a target keyword, mini split heat pump. And then I have instructions on there, so that's not just the prompt. Here's where the prompt starts. Okay, so target keyword, mini split heat pump, and now I have the competitor headlines. The reason I put that in there is to make sure ChatGPT knows what headlines are currently ranking. Then I put all of the people also ask questions, and then I give the instructions for please write this article. I tell it 2,000 words, of course, adjust that for what you want. I ask it to include a meta description. I ask it to be informative, engaging, and professional, and conclude with a call to action. And what ChatGPT does is gives me an excellent article here. It's still generating it. Let me rerun this prompt here. So I'm going to give ChatGPT this prompt and ask it to write an article. And you can see the instructions here. Please write an SEO optimized article. I'm just going to add one quick line. Do not provide an outline. Write a full SEO optimized article. Boom. All right. So I'm going to give it that prompt. Here's the full prompt. And you can see there's quite a bit of information that I'm giving ChatGPT here. I'm, of course, giving it the target keyword, mini split heat pump, and then I'm giving it the 5 competitor headlines that I mentioned. The reason for that is I want ChatGPT to know what headlines are currently ranking really well on Google. So when it's writing this article, when it's generating headline, a meta description for me, it knows what's already working. Here's all the people also ask questions. And again, I'm giving that to ChatGPT so that ChatGPT knows what is seen as relevant by Google for this target keyword so that ChatGPT is going to do a better job writing the article. And what it's giving me here is a framework, an outline. It's not actually writing an article. So I will just say, please write an article based on the framework you provided. Okay, so we clearly have ChatGPT running, generating this article over here on the computer. But one thing I do want to say to you is you really should not grab the content that ChatGPT generates and just copy and paste it to your website. We always have a human editor to fact check and edit and add uniqueness. So the 2 key goals, I mentioned them there for a human editor, is 1, to fact check. We know that ChatGPT has a tendency to hallucinate, which basically is a polite way to say ChatGPT has a tendency to just make things up that aren't true.
I can understand and generate human-like text.
And it not only will it make it up and it's not true, it will do so very confidently. So we don't want to post information that is obviously incorrect. So the human editor will double check everything. The second goal for the human editor is to add uniqueness, to add something about a personal experience, whether that be the editor's experience or a personal experience that the editor found on Reddit or Trustpilot or any number of sources around on the internet. But the large language model, ChatGPT, the way it works is right now it is impossible for it to generate unique information, right? It's just basically, in a way, sort of rewriting a lot of the information that's already out there. And Google has gone through a lot of updates recently to minimize how well content like that can rank. So to make sure that we can actually rank with AI-generated content, we need a human editor, again, to fact check and to add uniqueness, okay? So with that in mind, let's go on back and take a look. And what we have here from ChatGPT, we have the beginnings of an article here, a few more prompts and questions, and we'd be able to get it to spit out. I mean, this is a pretty long article, so that's pretty good. This is certainly something that our content editor can take, run with, and turn into a quality piece of content. All right, so now the next thing that we know that for every article we post on our website, we're going to need images. Okay, we used to have to pay for stock photography or asked our clients for images. Stock photography, not great. Google usually knows it's stock photography, and a lot of clients don't have images or aren't very responsive for it. So we can ask ChatGPT to generate some images for us. There are a lot of other AI image providers, but I'll just stick with ChatGPT. So the first thing I'm going to do, very simple, is ask ChatGPT to give me some ideas for different types of images that would work well in an article about mini split heat pumps. And here's ChatGPT, of course, generating a variety of image descriptions that I could ask it to create. You have to do this one at a time, but not that big of a deal. So the next thing that I would do for this article is I would think about how many images do I need, and I would ask ChatGPT to create an image for me and copy in one of these. If I don't like these, then I'll ask ChatGPT to refine or change based on what I actually do want. So that's one of the powerful things about AI image generation. All right, so moving on from content, that was content. Let's talk about an SEO audit. So the big thing that we're going to do for an SEO audit is we need information, CSV files, to give ChatGPT. So the tool that we're going to use to generate that, let me pull it up here, is Screaming Frog. I'm using the free version of this tool just to show you how powerful the free version is. The limit is the free version is limited to 500 pages. This site is much bigger than 500 pages. So if I were doing this for real, I would definitely be using the non-free version, the paid version. But so all we have to do is we put the domain homepage in here, we start the crawl, and it generates this. And all of this information associated with it. So I'm going to export it, and that's going to give me an Excel sheet export. It's going to be called internal all, and I'll open it up and show you what it looks like. I'll pull this over. So this is what the internal all looks like, and it's the URL, the title tag, meta description, very valuable information. We have H tags. And that will allow us to feed this information out to ChatGPT. So I have that internal all. And the first thing we're going to do is a content gap analysis. So I'm going to grab this and give it to ChatGPT, drag and drop. And I'm using ChatGPT 4, not the free one. It's $20 a month, and it allows me to drag and drop things like this. And the prompt I'm going to give it is a content gap analysis. What we're looking for from ChatGPT in this content gap analysis, we give it a CSV, URL, title tag, meta description, and we want ChatGPT to figure out what the website is about, given that information, what those articles are about, given that information, and suggest some additional content that we could write that we already have topical relevance for from the rest of our website. So we can write an article and it would rank very quickly because we already have topical relevance. So that's what ChatGPT is helping us do right here. And I like here, it's kind of humorous. ChatGPT always starts by telling us how it's going to do the analysis before it starts the analysis. But here we go. So now it's telling me, okay, here's the primary topics we've identified, the top keywords. So again, I mean, this is powerful analysis that we could do manually. We used to do manually, but it takes a lot of expertise and a lot of time to do this type of analysis without ChatGPT's help. Okay, so it's finished now, and it's given us 7 additional articles. We could certainly ask it to do more, but based on those 7 articles, we can ask it more information. We can use the content writing prompt. We can ask it for suggested target keywords, and literally we could type in, please give me a suggested target keyword for each of the 7 articles you suggested above. Because if I have a target keyword, that's going to make it a lot easier to run our content prompt. And here we go. Now it is giving me target keywords. We don't have to sit here and watch this generate. The next thing I want to do is a click-through rate analysis. And I've shown how to do this, but recently came up with a much easier and simpler way to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to the Google Search Console again, and I'm just going to export. And I'm going to export and the download Excel, okay? And what that'll give me, I'll open up that Excel sheet and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what that sheet looks like. And you can see it's going to be 1,000 queries. That's the most that we can download from Google Search Console. So including the title, it's 1,001 items. So to do this thoroughly, we'd want to grab it for each individual page, especially if you have a client who's ranking for more than 1,000 queries, like this one is. But I'm just showing you the goal here. So we have the query, the number of clicks, the click-through rate, and the position. Awesome. So that's what we need. So I'm going to close that, come back over to ChatGPT, and I'll give it the internal all from Screaming Frog, and I will give it the Excel sheet from the Search Console. And now what we need to do is come up with one sheet that has that assigns each of these queries to the article, to the URL that is driving traffic to it. So that's what I'm asking ChatGPT to do here, where I'm basically giving it that same internal all, and I'm saying, hey, you know the title tag, you know the meta description from internal all. I'm also giving you all the queries. I want you to guess what query is ranking for on which URL. So that's what I'm asking it to do here. And I guess it's giving me 2 responses. But yeah, they're pretty similar. It's just basically telling me what it's going to do. So we'll let this go ahead and run the analysis. Now, keep in mind, clearly this isn't going to be perfect. We're asking ChatGPT to guess what URL is ranking for what query. But again, ChatGPT knows the title tags, knows the meta descriptions, knows the subheadings. So it should do a reasonable job of making this estimation. And the good news here is it's so fast at doing it. You know, if this was a huge 8-hour research project, I'd be a lot more hesitant to have big guesses like this. But it's not. It's a fairly quick process here to have ChatGPT do the analysis. In the days before ChatGPT, click-through rate analysis would take hours of effort. All right, perfect. So ChatGPT has finished. It had an error, but it was able to correct it. And it's going to give me this assembled CSV, which I will open up here. All right, and here we go. So we have the URL, the title tag, meta description, query, rank position, traffic, and CTR. So this is exactly what we wanted to see. Now, the reason that we have to do it this way is because we need the rank position for each individual query, for each individual URL. We can't look at the rank position overall or for the whole URL. It has to be by query. But now we have this. Happy with this. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to close that. Don't save. And I'm going to give it its own file back and ask it to do our click-through analysis. So again, whenever we give ChatGPT a prompt, I almost always start by asking ChatGPT to role play. So in a lot of these prompts, you see that again and again. I've started by saying, hey, you're an expert at what I want you to do next. You're an expert in this field. You're an expert at language. Whatever it is I want ChatGPT to do, I begin by telling it that it is an expert at doing that. I know it seems strange, but it does significantly improve the quality of the output. So here, I basically told ChatGPT that it's an expert in analyzing and improving click-through rates from Google search. And I'm giving it its own file back with the query and click-through rate. And the output is quite good, right? We're having current title tag, current meta. It's giving me new recommendations for rewriting the title tag and meta description. I also have what URLs are underperforming from a click-through rate. And it's telling me, right, that the click-through rate is lower than expected. So it is suggesting that we rewrite the title tag and meta description to improve that. And I don't want to undersell the value of click-through rate analysis. If you land a brand new client, the fastest way that you can provide a massive amount of value to that new client is a click-through rate analysis. You can see we're looking at a rank position of around 7 with a click-through rate of 0.9%. Click-through rate should be 3 or 4 times higher than that for a position of 7. So we can significantly increase their traffic from a valuable keyword by just improving click-through rate, rewriting the title tag. Okay, so don't sleep on click-through rate analysis. It is an easy, very fast way to deliver a massive amount of value to a brand new client. And what I've said before in a lot of my other videos is the best way to keep clients for the long term is to show very quick, very impressive wins in terms of the amount of traffic, the amount of customers, the amount of revenue that they're generating from organic search. If you can knock it out of the park in the first few months, when every other SEO they talk to, it says that it's going to take 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. If you can knock it out of the park in the first month or so, they're going to be our client for a long, long time. So let's go ahead and move on to the fourth product. So the fourth one that we're going to talk about here is user intent matching. A lot of clients, especially if the content is old, the content isn't written very well to match user intent for the keywords it's actually ranking for. So we're going to have ChatGPT help us to try to fix that. So I'm going to go to a specific URL. In this case, we're going to stick with the mini split. So this is the URL that is ranking for mini split. So we're going to stick to that. So we're going to come into the Search Console, and I want to grab the query data for the URL that's ranking for mini split heat pump. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go over to pages. So what this is telling me, these are all the pages on this domain that are getting traffic from this query. And I'm clearly going to choose the top one. And now I want to come back to queries, and I'm going to X out that query filter. So now I'm seeing all the queries that this particular page is ranked for. And here they are. So I'll hit export and I'll export as an Excel sheet. So let me show you what that Excel sheet looks like. So it's just a list of queries, the number of clicks, impressions, CTR, and position. You can see top one, mini split heat pump in position 10.6. Very, very high in the second page. You can see why I chose to focus on this query, because we can push it from position 10.6 to 9.6. They're going to get 10 times as much traffic from it. Okay, so that's what I want. So we'll come back to ChatGPT, and keyword intent analysis is what we're doing. So I'm going to grab my prompt, and it's another long one. Okay, boom. I'm going to give it the CSV, and then I'm going to actually give it the content from the page in question. So here's the page. I'm literally just going to copy that content and paste it there into the prompt and run. Let me scroll up to show you what the actual prompt is. So really what we want ChatGPT to do here is take a look at the content and rewrite it so that it's more in line with the intent of the keywords that we're already ranking for. All right, so we asked ChatGPT to do this analysis. Here's its output, and it does a good job of analyzing what the user intent is, what we talk about. It's giving some suggestions for how to do content adjustments, user experience recommendations, some insights, and then it gives a list of action items that we could do to improve this. I simply asked it to do it directly itself, and here is the output for there when I asked it, hey, just make the changes yourself based on your recommendations. So again, we would take this content, make sure a human editor has a chance to take a look at it, fact check it, and update the content on that page to be similar to this to improve its rank position for a lot of these. Awesome. So again, right, very quick to do this, and we're only trying to gain half to one rank position to 10x the traffic from this particular keyword. So hopefully you can see why I get so excited when I talk about content analysis using ChatGPT. We've gone through 4 of our top products for fulfillment, and they've all been focused on content analysis. So for number 5, we're going to go a little bit different. We're going to do a backlink analysis. Again, of course, using ChatGPT. So for the backlink analysis, I'm going to jump on over to Ahrefs, and again, you can use Ahrefs or any other backlink analysis tool that you want, and we're going to focus on referring domains. So we're going to grab this, and I'm going to export it, and then I'm going to come and look at who their competition is. So organic competitors. All right, and now that it's loaded, AC Direct is number 1, so I'm going to grab AC Direct, and I'm going to grab their referring domains and export that. So I have 2 export files. I'm going to give them both to ChatGPT, the AC Direct and the HVAC Direct, and I'm going to give it a prompt asking it to analyze those 2 domains. So please conduct a backlink analysis of acdirect.com. I've included the domain export from my website at HVAC Direct, and really what we're trying to do, the goal here is for ChatGPT to help us identify what backlinks we should be targeting, seeking, going after to better compete with AC Direct. And I could download more files, more competitor referring domain files. I could get more sources of backlinks for HVAC Direct. I could grab them from the Search Console. The reason I didn't do that is I wanted to stay apples to apples, right? So I can't get Search Console backlink data from my competitor because they're not going to give me Search Console access. So I don't necessarily want to use Search Console data for me. I want to use Search Console when I can use Search Console, Ahrefs to Ahrefs when I can't. And of course, in my 6th product, I'm going to immediately break that rule. But here's what the analysis is giving me. It's giving me some opportunities, some content gaps, prioritize list of backlink opportunities. So there's a lot here. And if I wanted, like usual, I can certainly ask ChatGPT a few more questions, like what specific domain should we focus on to get additional backlinks? That's a really good follow-up question. Any other number of follow-up questions. It's going to output some high quality domains, what they would want to look for, how they'd be looking for them. So if I said, all right, we'll let this load. And the first link it's recommending is wired.com, which of course is a big website, domain rating 92. A link from Wired would be huge. A lot of these would be Crunchbase, MDPI. So these would be massive websites if we could get links from them. So, and the way that you typically get links from those types of websites as you write content that they want to link to. So I'm just going to ask it what type of content we should write. So I asked for Wired, we could ask for each one of those individually, and then we could ask it to create a series of outreach emails that we could then load into an email automation program and basically email Wired until they ask us to stop, or we actually get a link from them. So we do this all the time, and it is surprisingly effective to put in this type of automated email reach out system, even for big scale publications like Wired. Because we've essentially written content that is exactly what they want to see, exactly what they want to link to. All right, so that was our link analysis, and you can see we, of course, came up with a massive number of links that we can go after and try to get links from that we don't have, but our competition does. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is something called the Helpful Content Update. This rolled out September, October of last year of 2023, and it's still impacting a lot of websites. So I want to give you an idea of how to do this helpful content audit to see how you can write content better and try to rank higher for helpful content. So the way we're going to start here is with a keyword we're not on the first page for. So again, I'm going to stick with my old standby mini split heat pump. So the first thing that you want to look at from a helpful content update, because one of the impacts of this was Google put a lot of websites on the first page, especially for reviews and things like that, that are very trusted websites. So if you used to be getting traffic from a review or from a best, and you type that into Google, and every single website on the first page is like a domain rating of 85 or higher, then the bad news is that it's time to give up and move on to another query. You're not really going to be able to compete with a website like that. So you can see I grabbed Sendville already, and when I looked it up, it's a domain rating of 43. That's actually lower than the domain rating of the website hvacdirect.com. So I should be able to outrank them. This is not a crazy powerful website like, Glassdoor or Indeed or Amazon or the Home Depot. So this is a sign that I could potentially actually rank for this query. So what I'm going to do is visit that website. So here we go. Open a new tab. So we'll just load that up. So there's the Sendville. And I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to copy my prompt. And then I am again going to copy my content, my website content, paste, competitor, website content. There it is. I'll just copy this, paste, and go. So the prompt I asked, scroll back up to see it. All right. So the prompt, I'd like to conduct a comparison between one of my website pages and a competitor's page that's currently ranking. And I give my title tag, my meta, the competitor title tag, the competitor meta, grab those from the Google search page itself. The Google Search Console data queries, it already has that for this particular URL. So I didn't actually attach it this time. ChatGPT is smart enough to figure that out. But I showed you how to download that before from this page. So just attach that in there too and provide a side-by-side content quality and relevance comparison. So that's what we're asking ChatGPT to do. Let's see how it's coming along. Excellent. So it's essentially giving exact comparisons between our content and the competitor's content. This is a case where I would give it Search Console data for me, but nothing for the competition, except just to tell ChatGPT, hey, the competition's ranking on the first page and I'm not. So again, it's giving me some excellent ideas for improvement. I could very easily give ChatGPT another prompt that's something like rewrite my content directly. Let's see what it outputs. Rewrite my content directly based on your suggestions, please. And let's see what it does. Perfect. Here's a revised version of the content. So I know I skipped around there a little bit. I had 4 content related products. Then I talked about a backlinking one, and then I went to a 6th content related one. Hopefully that doesn't bother you, but the helpful content in particular wreaked havoc on a lot of review-based websites. So hopefully this type of analysis comparison between your site, and this is important, a site with a similar domain rating, with a similar overall backlink strength, that type of comparison, incredibly valuable to see what type of content changes you can make to rank higher. Notice I did not compare my website to Amazon or my website to the Home Depot or my website to the Department of Energy website, right? I am not really in competition with them. Years ago, I'd heard from a fellow search engine optimizer that he was making a bunch of affiliate money with the website like cheaplamps.com or something like that. Google rolls out an update and suddenly Amazon is getting all that traffic. He didn't try to recover it because he's not going to outrank Amazon. He just walked away, started a new website. So that's why you have to pay attention to who the traffic is currently going to. And if it's all going to like DR90, DR80 plus websites, like incredible, trustworthy, optimized, powerful domains, it might be best just to walk away from it. Okay, so let's see what ChatGPT has given us. Excellent. And again, we would take this content, give it to our human editor, have them fact check it. Like some of these BTU and SEO ratings, want to make sure that's all accurate. It might not be. And we also want to have our human editor add some uniqueness and some personal information about these. Okay, so let's shift gears again. The number 7, the final one I'm going to talk about is Google Business Profile Optimization. Clearly, this is going to be focused on local businesses, not national. But a lot of local businesses do a really terrible job of optimizing the Google Business Profile. So I'm going to show you how we do it. It takes maybe an hour of time to do it the way I'm going to show you, but provides massive, massive value. We had one client who went from ranking in like 8th or 9th place to being in the top 3 just from this 1 hour of work, okay? Massively, massively valuable. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing from a GBP optimization standpoint is a lot of local businesses don't have enough services, don't have enough categories. So we're going to ask ChatGPT to help us fill in some services. We're going to stick with HVAC. So it's going to be an HVAC service and installation company, local here, not hvacdirect.com. And I'm going to ask, hey, give me 20 services. Then we can go into the service section of the GBP and put them all in there. And there is a lot of important things here. What we're going to do, once we get the services we want to put in the GBP, then we're going to get some categories to put on the GBP, and then we're going to make sure that we talk about those services and those categories on the homepage if it's low, medium competition, or on specific service pages if it's high competition. The quickest, easiest way to go from not really ranking very well to dominating your local area is to do exactly this, to make sure your content is talking about the services and categories on your Google Business Profile. All right, so here are, excellent, look at this. It's giving me 30 services here that I can add to my Google Business Profile. Perfect, and some additional variations. So now, in addition to just those services, I want additional categories. A lot of local businesses, especially if the local business set up their GBP themselves, has one category. Google lets you choose 5. So we want to have 5 in there with one primary. All right, so now it's giving me a whole bunch. That's awesome. I'm just going to use 5 because Google doesn't let us use more than that. So for an example, I just HVAC Houston, Texas. This is the search that I would do maybe if I'm looking for a new HVAC system or an installer. I'm not going to look at this guy because he has 3,100 reviews. I'm not going to look at this guy because he has 2,000 reviews. Let's take a look at this Revolution Air here, only 120 reviews. I did a video earlier, a while back actually, that talked about how reviews aren't important to rank locally. And you can see the difference here, 3,000, 2,000, 100. Okay, yet he's actually outranking the guy with 2,000. But let's take a look at Revolution Air. And here's their homepage. So let's pretend we're trying to optimize Revolution Air. I'm not going to show you an actual local client of mine, but let's pretend we're trying to optimize Revolution Air around their GBP. So we'll come back to ChatGPT. And I'm going to grab my prompt, paste it in, and I'm going to put in the homepage content. So here I'm going to pretend like it's a low or medium competition. Of course, HVAC Houston is not low or medium. It would be high competition, but presumably hopefully if you have a client who's trying to rank for HVAC Houston, you know exactly how to do this. If not, let me know. Happy to help. So we'll give it that. So give it that prompt. Okay. And then let me show you what I told you. So basically I said, hey, I'm going to give you the homepage content. Here are the GBP categories they've used. And those GBP categories are from ChatGPT up here. Awesome. And then what I wanted to do is rewrite the content, focusing on an exact match for the category and for service. So I wanted to use a category, then choose one service relevant to that category and write a paragraph about that. And that's what I'm asking it to do here. And I wanted to put its changes in italics so I know what it's actually changing. And perfect, that's exactly what it's doing. It's rewriting the homepage content for me so that it is exact match consistent with the Google Business categories and Google Business services that are actually on its GBP. So this is for a low to medium competition where I'm going to blurb all of it out on the homepage. Of course, if it's a high competition, then each one of these categories will have its own service page. And then on those service pages that each talk about one of the GBP categories, I'm also going to focus on talking about one of the GBP services. Okay? So I'll do at least 5 of those for the 5 GBP categories. I might do more than one for each of the additional GBP services that I didn't mention. I'll use a content prompt like the one I showed you earlier to have ChatGPT give a first pass at writing that content for me. Or if they already have service pages, I'm going to use a prompt similar to this one to ask it to rewrite that based on the GBP categories and services. And the last thing I'm going to show you is fairly simple. I won't even actually run it in ChatGPT. I'll just show you the prompt. Get rid of that. All right, I'm not even actually going to give this prompt to ChatGPT. I'll just show it to you so you can see it. There's a box on every GBP for a description. So all we're going to do is ask ChatGPT to write a description for us. Fairly simple, does a good job. Add as many details about that client as you can. In fact, if that client already has an about page that talks about them, copy that about page content, paste it into this prompt, and then give that to ChatGPT. And we also know that we need local business schema. So literally, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT, hey, what do you need for local business schema? ChatGPT will do an excellent job of writing schema if I give it the correct information, if I give it all the information it needs. So here it is, it's telling me what it needs. So I'm just going to give it this information, ask it to write local schema, and put that on the homepage. All right. So there you have it. That's exactly how we fulfill each one of our 7 most popular products. If you're interested in how to price them or how much money it costs my team to actually do this fulfillment for a client, check out the last video I did where I break all of that information down. Hopefully you thought this was valuable. If you do think this is valuable, we've been talking a lot about Google's algorithm. Let's briefly mention YouTube's algorithm. It gives a massive help to me, to my channel. If you give me a quick like, if you give me a quick comment below, if you thought this was valuable at all, I'd really appreciate your time in doing that. Also, go ahead and hit subscribe, turn on those notifications, and I am going to continue to publish content about how to create your own AI SEO agency.